The workshop is still and silent. Not even the squeak of a mouse can be heard. A fizzy lemonade bottle falls from a shelf where the toy soldiers have been placed, shortly followed by the sound of somebody making stretching noises and yawning. Who can it be? He sits up with his legs dangling, his hands at either side, gripping the shelf to support his half-asleep posture. His marble eyes look down at his swinging lemonade bottle legs. It's Major Jump. He's alive. There is something behind his paper plate face that is trying to calculate the distance between the yogurt pot feet and the floor. He pushes himself upright and lunges forward, landing firmly and squarely on the bio and virtually fat-free banana. He dusts himself off and dances a little jiggle. Now that his joints are loosened, he walks slowly around the workshop, looking very carefully at the workbench where he spots a pastry brush. He picks it up and very tentatively between his thumb and his forefinger, he holds it close to his face. After close scrutiny, he runs his thumb over the bristles and shouts in a military tone.
Someone has stolen a soldier's moustache and put it on a stick. Who would do such a thing? Where am I? What kind of place is this?
His eyes meet the fairy with the moustache. He gasps.
They even stick them on frilly dolls. Whatever will I find next?
He turns and looks towards the shelves where the soldiers have been placed. He stops and bows his head, sighs deeply and slowly whispers,
Oh no, they look so lifeless.
He walks over to them and places the palm of his right hand, the raspberry fromage frais one, on a soldier's brow.
You must have been dead for a long time. There must have been a war. I must have missed it. How could I miss a war? Perhaps I've lost my memory. No, I couldn't have done. I know my name. I can recall the time when my legs went on a picnic with my face. I remember my arms being gently squeezed into a bowl of dirty crockery.
There is a reprise of his little jig.
Maybe the soldiers are in a deep sleep,
he says in a military tone.
Well, no one sleeps while Major Jump is awake.
He picks up the lemonade bottle and prods the soldiers vigorously while shouting,
Come on, snap to it, wakey wakey, rise and shine. Get yourselves together and stop slouching. Straighten your backs, chests out, and salute when you're being addressed by the Major.
By now they are standing to attention, all except for one who hobbles and falls over.
What's wrong with you, Private,
He gestures to coax the soldier into revealing his name.
Private Property, sir,
he replies.
Well, Private Property.
The lemonade bottle is now supported in his armpit.
What's the problem?
Barks Major Jump.
You've got me leg under your arm, sir,
he replies. The soldiers begin to laugh. The Major stamps his right foot, the virtually fat-free banana one, on the floor. Whilst waving the bottle in the air, he bellows,
It's no laughing matter. He's lucky to have such a fine specimen. Legs are very important to you soldiers. So why do you think you have them?
He hands Private Property his leg.
Well, why do you think soldiers need legs, Private?
For marching, sir, he replies.
Marching?
Major Jump exclaims.
Can't you think of anything that legs can do that's more useful than marching?
Play football, says Private Road.
No,
snaps the Major.
And call me sir.
Ice skate, sir, is the offer from Private Detective.
No,
shouts the Major.
Any more offers?
We could cross them, sir, says Private Property.
That is of no use to anyone,
barks the Major.
The only people that cross the legs are fat men behind fat desks and people that are desperate for the views of the bathroom. I will give you all a clue.
He repeats his jig and says,
Michael Flatley.
The soldiers look at each other in disbelief. Private Road replies in a questioning tone. Dance, sir?
Don't look so shocked,
snaps the Major.
Legs are made for dancing and everyone in Major Jump's regiment must dance. Let me show you how.
He runs across the workshop and leaps into the air. He spins around on one foot, shuffle-hop steps and cartwheels over the benches. The soldiers can't believe their eyes. He dances and dances and dances until it is light. Finally, he lands next to Crystal with a heavy thump. She stares at the Major through her glazed marbles, breathless from fright.
Major Jump,
shouts the Major. Yes, you did, she replies.
I did what?
Quizzes the Major. Made me jump, she answers.
I'm sorry I made you jump, but I was only introducing myself. My name is Major Jump.
In a friendly voice. Very appropriate, I'm sure, she answers. What were you doing anyway to land so forcefully?
Dancing, my dear, dancing, in a passionate tone.
My name isn't my dear, it's Crystal, she replies. From the sound of your voice, you must love dancing.
I absolutely adore it, he replies.
So do I, says Crystal agreeably. When I'm dancing, I feel like I'm floating on air, she enthuses. The Major offers his right arm and courteously asks,
May I have the pleasure of this dance, Crystal?
Certainly, Major. She places her hand on his. They dance with such grace and elegance as they glide around the workshop in perfect unison. The soldiers and the fairies, who are also awake, watch in amazement. They are so mesmerised by the hypnotic spectacle that they can't stop themselves from dancing. This most exquisite image of movement and colour is such a magical display. Hark! I hear sleigh bells in the distance, says Fairy Sapphire anxiously. It must be Santa and the Dinkybets on their way to work.
Aye, it probably is. We must return to our former places before they arrive, says Major Property, her dancing partner. And thank you for the dance, Sapphire.
He tips his helmet. You dance very well, she nods.
Reasonably well considering I have a leg refitted only an hour ago.
He smiles. Just at that moment, Major Jump and Crystal whiz by and knock him off balance. Sapphire smiles. The Major and Crystal are totally unaware that the Dinkybets are on their way. They are still spinning and twirling and floating on air.
Excuse me, Major Jump, sir.
Private Property nervously half shouts.
Talking to me, Private?
In a sarcastic manner. The Major and Crystal continue their glide around the floor.
Aye, sir. Santa Claus and the Dinkybets have just arrived and they'll be at workshop in less than a minute, he replies. Why didn't you say before?
At which point they stop dancing.
Right, everyone, listen very carefully. Go back to your places very quietly. No one must know about this. We can get together tomorrow evening, but until then, don't even blink. And Private Property?
Yes, Major.
Don't forget to take your leg off, because that's the way the Dinkybets left you.
Aye, sir. I hope they fit me with one tomorrow.
Shh, they're here.